Okay. Mr. Clerk, would you like to introduce the next item on the agenda?
A meeting is now being convened to consider a proposed amendment to the city zoning bylaw to permit a 9-story mixed-use building at 5756 Ferry Street. Notice was given by first-class mail in accordance with the Planning Act on Friday, August 13th, 2021, and by posting a sign on the property in question. Anyone who wants notice of the passing of the zoning bylaw amendment, to participate in any site plan process if applicable, or preserve their opportunity to appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal shall give notice to the city clerk immediately after today's public meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I now ask our Director of Planning, Mr. Hurlovich, to explain the purpose and the reason for the proposed bylaw amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm now on my iPad due to technical glitch, so I wonder if the clerk could bring up the PowerPoint on the shared screen.
Technology is so much fun.
It is.
This is an easy one. Finally get rid of that motel. It's a disaster. Wow.
We also received concerns from the people who are currently living in the Continental Inn. They wondered where they would be relocated if this building is currently used for housing, and so they wondered what would happen. Niagara Regional Housing is coordinating the finding new accommodations for the residents, and regional staff will be having one-on-one meetings with the residents. Once this project moves forward, the residents would be given notice in accordance with the Residential Tenancies Act. The Continental Inn manager has indicated that there are community members who would assist any resident who wished assistance to move. So the next policy we looked at was the Provincial Policies. Again, we found that this form of development would add to the diversity of housing options, and it would assist the city in meeting its intensifications numbers in the built-up area. Next slide.
Councillor Thompson.
Yes, I have a long history with this building. I used to go in there 25 years ago with the health department to inspect the facility, and it has been nothing but downhill from there. In fact, a lot of the problems that go on in the area are because of the people who are living there now. All of the balconies are filled with garbage sitting outside, and this is the homeless problem that exists in the city, and this is one place where if ever there could be a new development like what we saw on the screen, this would be fantastic. It's time for change, and we have to support this development and clean up the whole area.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
agree with that. Councillor Lococo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On that point, I was concerned that I knew the over 50 people that were living there and what was going to happen to these 50 people. This is one of the short-term buildings that people are living in long-term. So I did connect with the manager, and she did tell me about the Niagara Regional Housing, Project Share, the region helping people get out there. I understand that this development, I think it's great, but these are people that are living there and they're in bad circumstances, they're lower income, and we have a responsibility to help them find places, and I'm glad that we're doing that. But this is part of our issue with affordable housing, single room occupancy, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, and I just wanted to put it out there. All of the problems are not from these people in this development.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, Mr. TC, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. You welcome to the meeting. You have the floor.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor and Council. And I just want to point out, thank you, Councilor Coco, for saying that I don't believe that these are the people that are just responsible for the problems in our area. They are a contributing factor, but they're not the overall factor. I'm here to represent the other board members for the BIA, and we're in total support of this project. I think it's a much needed facelift to that area. I think, like Councillor Thompson has talked, it's been an issue for quite a while. And I think this is going to be a beautiful facelift to raise the profile of that area. I'm happy that the owners have taken so much diligence in relocating some of the less fortunate people that live in that building. So I want to commend him on that. I think I always have. I've been at the meeting talking to the people that live in there, and most of them are just unfortunates. So hopefully they'll be taken care of, and I was assured by some of the other members of the city and the communities that they will be, so I applaud that, and I hope that you guys pass this, so thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Questions? Councillor Strange? Yep.
Yeah, we had the one comment from the Quickie Car Wash about their noise and stuff like that, and they just wanted to know that they were basically okay with it, like they weren't going to complain about the noise at the car wash.
It's Mr. Quick, not Quickie. Just want to be
Mr.
clear
Quick,
about that.
Quickie.
But just going to leave that one alone.
Okay.
Sir, did you just want to weigh in on the on the car wash? Hold on. Yeah, I know, at the Emerald Inn. Yeah, I know that. Sorry, can you hear me? This is a question to the applicant.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So yes, with regards to the car wash, we did submit a noise study as required as part of a complete application, and we would be submitting a further detailed noise study through the future site plan application, which would identify noise sources in the area, such as a car wash, and would include recommendations, be it advisories to future residents before purchasing. It would advise them of the noise source. If necessary, there might be certain construction requirements for thickness of glass, those kinds of things, to ensure that residents aren't negatively impacted by any noise.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Triple pane glass or whatever the case is. Are you good now, Councillor Strange? Councillor Lococo?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm wondering if that got reversed. It's the noise from the car wash that the residents would complain about, not the noise from the apartment building.
Right.
Yes.
Right, that's what we're saying. So they might have to put triple pane glass in on the apartment building because of the noise from the car wash.
Okay.
Is that the way you understood it? I'm sorry, the applicant, I forgot his name.
Miles Weeks, it's no problem. Yes, that's correct. It's to buffer the residents from the car wash.
Right. Okay, got it. Were there any other questions? Okay, so I think we're good. And I'm going to close the public meeting. So the public meeting with respect to the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is now concluded. I've got Councillor Pietrangelo, you're going to make that motion. I got you for the second, Councillor Thompson. So Councillor Peter, did you? Okay, Councillor Pietrangelo is going to support the amended recommendation that will include the provision that it can operate as an apartment dwelling without the 66% residential restriction. Is that right? And Mr. Lewis, do I have that right?
Mr. Mayor, that sounds good.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you for that. If there's So we have a motion by Councillor Pietrangelo, second by Councillor Thompson. If there's no further discussion, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? Okay, and that's unanimous. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Mr. Weeks, and thank you, Mr. Hurlovich, on that one. You're welcome. It's all good.